are live. Sunday Service episode number 43. Welcome in. We're coming off an Apex card that was for sure not going to deliver, but it did deliver. It was a brutal look looking at that card, and I'm like, oh my God, this is a Dana White Contender Series card 2.0. But then we got some good matchups. We got some good results. We had a great night of bets. We had some crazy finishes, 2 Kimuras on one card, a couple of women's round 1 knockouts. Wild stuff. We had Roman Dolidze winning a 5-round fight. Wild stuff. Dayar Nergojai, this 10-0 prospect, might have been 11-0, undefeated prospect from Kazakhstan, absolutely blowing it for a lot of guys out there. Ryan Spann at heavyweight, not looking good. Carlos Vera, the man had a dream. He pulled the Martin Luther King. He had a dream. He went out there, I just want a UFC win. 37 years of age? Head kick, drops him, jumps on the back, rear naked choke in round 1. Crazy stuff. Sam Hughes, another dog win for Sam Hughes. Never been a favorite in her entire UFC career. How many wins does she got? 1, 2. She got 5 wins in her UFC career. Never been a favorite. Always been an underdog. And she cashed in for me. Andre Lima, round 3 sub. Absolute beatdown. Priscilla Cachoeira, 135. Might be a problem. She's coming for that belt. That Apex card was nasty, dude. I didn't even talk about Chidi. Chidi and Joe Kawani absolutely murking Zaleski, who does not get knocked out very often. Big dog cash for your boy on Chidi as well. And unfortunately, Alexander Hernandez got the decision over Kurt Holloway, which should not have happened. I will die on the hill that Kurt Holloway should have won round 1 and 2 based on damage. He was the one hurting Alexander Hernandez throughout the first 2 rounds. And yeah, Hernandez got him down at the end of the round 2. But if you watch the round 2, Kurt had him hurt. Kurt had him on the ropes a couple times up against the cage. He had him running for his life. And then he gets a takedown with 2 minutes left. Doesn't do anything. I don't think he landed much ground and pound. I mean, maybe a few shots here and there, but Kurt was looking for the subs. Saw that Kurt Holloway should have got his hand raised. Unfortunate. But, you know, it seems like the judges love themselves some Alexander Hernandez. I don't get it. I don't get how not a single judge scored it for Kurt Holloway. Whatever. Didn't ruin our night because we had a great night. But last night's card was absolutely insane. I know probably some of you got burned on a lot of those big underdogs, but probably some of you cashed in big, which is sick. So we're going to allow some people to get in here in the chat. I got to pop a little victories in a chino because we had an insane night last night. Matty Betts hit the cycle parlay. I looked at that cycle parlay and I was like, this one's got a great chance. So I tailed it only for like $100, but you know, I made $2,300. So that's a $2,300 wager or $2,300 that I won based off of just tailing the kid. So I'll take that all day. I will take that all day. A little victory chino going up in the top shelf where grandma keeps the peanut butter. Let's look at the chats. Hey, Zeus, probably one of the best Apex cards ever. I agree. That's why it's the title of the video. I can't think of another one, bro. Like, I'm sure there's a few that I'm just get lost in your memory, but last night's was insane, dude. Go down in history. 2 out of 3 women's unders hit. Yeah, dude. Low level. Everybody tell me Eunice Dubin was a lock. I'm like, dude, I guess that's why we could still make money in MMA betting, man. You know, I get Eunice Dubin had a viral KO on the Contender Series, but look at her record before that. This girl was fighting girls who had literally never fought in MMA ever before. And she got brought in on the Contender Series to lose. She was supposed to lose to this Canadian chick who was the LFA champion. And she landed an overhand right, which is crazy. In women's MMA, if you knock a girl out cold, it's probably once only one time it'll ever happen in your life. She landed it that night, and she makes her UFC debut against a girl who was lost her last 2 fights, but was very competitive with UFC level fighters. And everybody's like, give me Dubin at plus 300. Gets fucking knocked out in round 1. Okay. Hey, I tell you, boys, we can't always just look at a girl that, got a knockout her last fight and better as an underdog. So unfortunate for those that did, but I did not. I did pick Giudice. I didn't have any money on Giudice. I'll be honest about that because I didn't really know. But I did know that I don't think Dubin is all that great. So we'll see. Ryan's a bum. Marvin's a bum. Henry's a bum. Who's Ryan? Costa's a bum. John Jones is a bum. Wow, we're really coming at people tonight. Brady 48-47. Are you talking about Sean Brady next week? I could see that, bro. Connor, how am I doing? I'm good. I'm doing pretty good, bro. How are you doing? Jamal Hill versus Santos was the best Apex card ever. Had pure finishes, and it was on my birthday. Let me look at that one. Because I remember a few Apex cards where I was like, wow, that was a pretty good card. Jamal Hill. Guess I got to type in Jamal instead of just Hill. Jamal Hill, Thiago Santos. Okay, I remember that one. The one with Jeff Neal and Vicente Luque. I don't know, man. I know it was all finishes, but there was only 10 fights. I do remember that card because I remember looking back at it. I'm like, wow, every fight did not go the distance, even though there was a few women's MMA fights. But yeah, I don't know. I honestly think last night's was a little bit more crazy because a lot of these were like big favorites picking up wins anyway. Jamal Hill knocking out Thiago Santos, round 4, ground and pound. Jeff Neal, round 3 KO over Vicente Luque. That was pretty nice. Muhammad Usman, not Kamaru. Muhammad Usman knocking out Zach Pauga. It was a good knockout, but the ultimate fighter finale. Juliana Miller, round 3, ground and pound TK over Brogan Walker. I don't think that was the best fight, but it was an interesting result. Sergey Spivak, ground and pound over Augusto Sakai. A couple heavyweights, grappling TKOs. Terrence McKinney destroying Eric Gonzalez. He was probably minus 500. Olashaychek knocking out Sam Alvey. He was probably minus 500. Brian Battle, head kick over Takashi Sato. That was nasty. But I think Brian Battle was like minus 300. Corey McKenna, Von Flue choke. And Mayra Bueno Silva armbar over Stephanie Egger. I remember that one because that was a phantom tap type of thing. Yeah, I'd still go with last night, bro. I still would. Why am I a bum? Are you doing the UFC London predictions on this live stream? No, I am not. But if you have a question about it, throw it in the chat. I'm here to answer chats, talk about last night, talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. That's what the Sunday service is for, boys. I get to talk to you guys in the chat. We get to talk MMA. And maybe we'll start doing some more live streams. I don't know. Because we do a live stream on Sunday. It's kind of fun talking in the chat, talking and seeing what everybody's thinking about. But I already posted my early picks for UFC London. It's already up on my YouTube channel. Check that out after the live. Knocked out with a basic head kick. I mean, it was a nasty head kick. Like, snuck it up there, just wasn't ready for it. It'll happen. Should have known 6-0, and she was a plus 230 dog against a girl with a losing record. That should told you all you needed to know about Dubin. Yeah, dude. I mean, she was plus, 800 on the Contender Series? Like, she was brought in to lose. She's clearly not that good. She just landed a fluke KO. What up, Ryan? How we doing, brother? Chris Lee. 3027 Hernandez, federal fucking prison. I agree. You know what I also saw? Brian Miner scored the fight 29-28 for Hernandez. So he gave the fight to Hernandez. And I remember Alexander Hernandez lost a split decision to Damon Jackson. He lost it, but he got a 30-27 on one of the scorecards. I looked it up. That 30-27 was Brian Minor. Brian Minor gave Alexander Hernandez a 30-27 against Damon Jackson in a fight that he clearly lost. And then he's judging his fight here against Kurt Hollabaugh, and he scores a 29-28 for Hernandez. Something's fishy, boys. Something's fishy. Something's fishy. The judges just love themselves some Alexander Hernandez for some reason. If Hollabaugh didn't get robbed, would have multiplied my night by 10. I would have been up like another 8,000, bro. I would have been up another like 8,000 if Kurt Hollabaugh won that with just Kurt Hollabaugh money line and straight Kurt Hollabaugh in like 3 or 4 parlays with the money line, Kurt Hollabaugh by decision in some parlays, Kurt Hollabaugh by round 3 or decision. Like, it would have been so nice. Pumped for UFC London. So am I, bro. I love the London cards. 251 was the best Apex card ever. You're going to have to tell me the main event so I can look it up. Ryan Spam. Bryce Mitchell upsets John Silva. A lot of people are starting to say that now that John Silva got a little bit vocal at the press conference. A lot of people are saying Bryce Mitchell upsets him. I think John still probably KOs him, but we will see. Psycho Parlay came in clutch. Facts. What's more likely to happen, Sean, by sub or decision? I would probably say decision. Let's go, Andrew. How we doing, bro? Decision 100%. Yeah. Threw 1 unit on Cheaty because of you. Thanks, bro. Hey, that's what I'm here for, boys. That's what I'm here for. I didn't understand all the love for Zaleski. Like, I know Cheaty might have some grappling holes, but at 170, bro, like, he's 6'3" with a long ass reach. It's tough to take down guys that are that tall that can literally just stuff your head down where their hands can pretty much scratch their knees because they got such long arms. They just stuff your head down. You can't finish a takedown. I know he got taken down once. And the crazy part to me is I looked at the scorecards. Even though Cheaty got the KO in round 2, the judges still had to score round 1. 2 of the judges gave Zaleski round 1. Are we serious right now? Cheaty outstruck him 23-9 in round 1. I know Cheaty kind of wobbled there for a second, but that was the only shot that had any type of impact on Cheaty the entire round. And Cheaty was outstriking him for the entire round. 2 of the judges scored it for Zaleski in round 1. Insane. So good thing Cheaty got that KO because I don't know what those judges were going to be pulling out of their ass on the scorecards. Zin time. We got one top shelf, brother. Dubin is a sexy bum. Well, sometimes that's how it rolls, bro. Sometimes that's how it rolls. Leon versus Brady, who you got? I'm thinking Brady right now, bro. I'm thinking Brady right now. I think he's got a pretty similar style to a Bilal Muhammad. He's just going to have to crash the pocket. If you can't crash the pocket on Leon, then he's going to be able to chip away at you at range with his kicks and his movement. But we'll see. I mean, Leon's still a elite level fighter, man. It'll be tough. Nearly everybody's long shot on the live show hit if Hollabaugh gets the decision. Facts, dude. Crazy. I mean, that's why I said it in my reaction video. Vegas made the fucking call, bro. Vegas made the call. They were not going to let Kurt win that fight if it went to the scorecards. Going a bit further ahead here, but Jean Silva and Protest by KO both should be free money yet again. Thoughts? I don't know if they're free money. I mean, Jeff Neal is not a guy that gets KO'd often. Very game fighter on the feet. And, maybe Jean Silva does KO Bryce, but the thing is, if Jean Silva knocks down Bryce, he's going to have to follow him to the ground. So he's probably going to have to knock him out clean, which could happen. But I wouldn't say it's free money by any means. Watch the early picks. Parlay Pulayev, Duncan, and Lawford. 25 to win 1,000. Take me to the promised land. Dude, I got to look more at that Pulayev fight. I didn't even realize he was plus, 450? That's insane, dude. That's insane. I do think Chris Duncan at plus 280 is getting a little bit disrespected, or at least Vucenic is getting a little bit overvalued. And then Loughran, I got to look at that one more too, because I watched back Fletcher's most recent fight and he looked pretty solid, but you know, I think it's a pretty even fight. We'll see, but hopefully it cashes for you, bro. Poirier versus Hooker, best Apex card of all time. I mean, maybe the fucking main event, but let's look at the other fights on it. Plus, that was during COVID. Like that, I don't know if that really counts, dude. Poirier versus Hooker. Mike Perry, Mickey Gall. Yeah, I don't know, bro. I wouldn't say that's the best Apex card of all time. Probably the best Apex fight of all time. But the best card, nah. So all decision over Jordan Griffin? Nah, probably not, bro. I feel if Brady's able to take Edwards down as easy as Bilal did, that fight's ending in a sub early. Edwards, as good as he is, just looks like he mentally breaks. I mean, has Leon ever been subbed? He does kind of mentally break, but he's never been finished. Leon's never been finished. I would think it's the thing is, like, when you get to that level, like the championship level, it's so hard to find finishes on these guys unless you're just that much better than the championship level. Like, you think about Islam's getting finishes over these guys because he's that much better. Taporia getting finishes on Volkanovski and Holloway because he's that much better. Is Sean Brady that much better than Leon? Probably not that much better, but I do think he could win. So I think he probably wins a decision, honestly. Thoughts on Lonar Kavanaugh this week? I think he's a bit chalky, man. I think he's a bit chalky, but I think he probably wins just because he is a very sharp striker. And he has I wouldn't say a grappling upside, but he could get takedowns on Dos Santos, who has no takedown defense. So there is that for him to fall back on as well. Just arrived. Do you think the score on the Hughes fight was right? I do. I do think Sam Hughes won rounds 1 and 2 because, I mean, round 2 was arguably a 10-8, and I think one of the judges gave it to her. Round 1, I think she came out hot. I think she did a lot of good work within the first 3.5 minutes, and then the last 90 seconds, Luciano started to pick it up a little bit. But I think Hughes won most of the first round, so I do think she won the first 2 rounds and should have won the fight. Bro, I ain't gonna lie, I've been watching the Casuals versus Fighters on IG, and you've been killing it, bro. Yeah, dude, my picks lately have been pretty damn good, so hopefully we can keep that up. A lot of dogs are coming through, which is good because I usually tend to look towards the dogs just because I like to. But I've really took that mindset of like just throw everything out the window and assess it without all these narratives. Just fucking dial the fuck in, get in the lab and lock in. You know. Path to victory time. I'm not going to get into that. But thank you, bro. What's up, bro? I saw y'all celebrating the 1 ton. Let's go. I had Kurt Moneyline and what a robbery. 30-27 Alexander. No way. Yeah, bro. It's tough. I know it's the move to always fade Holland, but I feel like Nelson is going to retire here. Thoughts? It's a good chat, Noah. Because before I got on this live, I was thinking the same thing, bro. Like, betting on Kevin Holland is going to do something very bad for your mental health. But Gunnar Nelson hasn't fought in 2 years. His last 2 wins are to Brian Barberina, who has ended his career on a 4-fight losing streak, and Takashi Sato, who went like 1-5 in the UFC. Those are his last 2 wins. And Kevin Holland's only losses in the welterweight division are Michael Venom Page, Jack Della Maddalena, and Wonder Boy Thompson. So, like, it's going to do some crazy stuff to your mental health to put money on Kevin Holland. And if he goes out there and just looks like he doesn't care, like he does a lot of times, you're going to be pissed. But he's plus 120. Like, I'm trying everything in my heart and in my mind to just be like, don't do it. But my mind is telling me, like, this is a good opportunity to take Kevin Holland at a buy low spot at plus 120, bro, against a guy in Gunnar Nelson who's 36, hasn't fought in 2 years, and very likely could retire. So I don't know, man. Like, Kevin Holland, I've made money backing him. I've made money fading him. But there is always that like spot where it just seems like his stock is so low to where this might be the time to take him, bro. What do you think of Chris Duncan this week? Think the hype's real on Vucenic. I bought into his debut and got burnt. Yeah, I talked about this in my early picks video. But a lot of times you see this where the UFC debuter gets a tough fight against a guy in like Guram, looks good in round 1, knocks him down, and then loses the fight. And then he's overvalued in his next fight, just because they saw, this guy's a good talent. He went toe to toe with a good fighter in Guram, but at the end of the day, he lost the fight. And now he's minus 400 against Chris Duncan. It doesn't really make sense to me. Like, Chris Duncan is a proven UFC guy with multiple wins in the UFC. So, yeah, I think there's value on Chris Duncan right now. Not to say that Vucenic is a bad fighter, though. I think he's a solid fighter. Bryce took Ilya down. Jean going swimming, Arkansanity style. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Who do you think wins? Corey versus Figueiredo. I think Corey probably does. Cheeto or Mario? I think Mario does, bro. 3-rounder, I think Mario beats him. Yo, brother, I know this is random AF, but I've had a feeling my girlfriend is lesbian for a while, and I need help on how to approach it. That ain't my ballpark, brother. That ain't my ballpark at all. Chris Duncan and Chris Leroy Duncan on the same card going to fuck up a lot of casuals parlays. True. Make sure you know which Chris Duncan you're putting in your parlays. I think that's happened multiple times where they're both on the same card. Let's recap Maddie winning that 100K yesterday. Looking back on it, that shit was free, bro. That shit was free. Chidi needs to go to 85, bro. Too huge for 70. Literally one off his frame. Santos would have lost his last fight, but his opponent pulled out. He was at 85. He moved down to 170, bro. Long shot shout out. Make sure you're following Long Shots on all the social platforms, bro. And subscribe to the Long Shots Only YouTube channel. Just started up. I had $25 on the 6 fighters you guys picked, but I took Hernandez, and I could say, bro, he did not win that fight Vegas called. Hey, at least you made some money off it. At least somebody did, because it seemed like everybody was on Hollowbaugh, and Hollowbaugh should have won the fight, and that's why I think Vegas called, bro. That's why I think Vegas called. Were you guys nervous early the way that Gibson/Blackshear fight started? Yeah, I was wondering, like, what Blackshear was doing. It looked like he was... I mean, every time Cody would throw something at him, he was just covering up. Like, he wasn't moving backwards. He wasn't exiting. He wasn't circling off. He wasn't clinching up. He wasn't shooting a takedown. He was literally just like standing in front of him, covering up. I'm like, dude, this is, what are you doing? He's covering up. Cody Gibson's ripping body shots, going up to the head. Screwed my significant strike lower on Cody Gibson because Blackshear just stood there and took it. And then Cody Gibson shot a takedown like an idiot, dude. So, yeah, I mean, I was a little bit worried. I was like, Blackshear, what are you doing, bro? But he got it done at the end. Pulive can win, in my opinion. I mean, I think he can too. I got to look a little bit more film on it, but plus 450 seems insane to me. Am I gonna watch Callum Walsh fight? Probably not, bro. Probably not. Facts. Hit the like button for me. Everybody in the YouTube live, hit the like button for me. It's absolutely free. We gave some winners out on the socials. Hopefully it's held. If you're in the premium membership, you definitely made some money. So hit the like button for me. It's free. COVID era was legit. We could hear everything from the hits to the corner man yelling advice. Yeah. COVID era was nasty to watch Apex fights, dude. Vucenic getting the KO. Stop acting. Okay. This is the fucking thing. Everybody that just has some random account with like a profile picture of like, what is that? A fucking city? You're fucking losers, man. You comment on people's videos, whether it's mine or somebody else's, you just leave comments of like, this person is winning or this person is knocking him out. And more often than not, what happens is that person actually fucking loses. Okay. But you got here, no profile picture. You're commenting, throwing the chat here in the live stream. Vucenic getting the KO. Stop acting. Well, if you're so certain that he's getting the fucking KO, why don't you have your whole net worth on Vucenic by KO? You don't. You're just throwing bullshit out there, throwing your opinion out there like you actually know what's going to happen or like you've already seen the fight happen. You're fucking dumb. Okay? At the end of the day, you're dumb because you're just throwing bullshit out there with nothing to back it up. Not your face in your profile. What is it, a fucking city? Can't even fucking see. I don't know what that is. Losers, bro. Straight up losers. You know how many people commented on my many men parlay? Vettori's getting it done. Vettori's winning. Vettori's not losing a decision to Roman Dolidze. Vettori's winning. What happened? Dolidze fucking won. Okay? So stop acting like you already know the result, like you've already seen the fight. You don't. That's why in all my prediction videos, all my breakdown videos, I give a side or at least a path of victory for each guy. And I'll weigh the options. But at the end of the day, we all know this is fucking MMA. Okay? At the end of the day, anything can happen. We just saw that with Carlos Vera versus Josias Musasa. Okay? Carlos Vera was not supposed to knock down Musasa. Maybe he could submit him, but he wasn't supposed to knock him down with a fucking head kick. It's MMA. Anything can happen. Stop acting like you know the outcomes. You look dumb. You look dumb. But you don't look dumb at the same time because you have nothing to back up your profile. Losers. 7 likes. Facts, dude. Get the freaking likes up. Bredesen looked very good yesterday. He did look good. Nergoja did look pretty bad, though, at the same time. What is Dyer Nergoja? It honestly pisses me off to watch. Like, that's got to mess up with your game plan, your flow. I get it's a tick, but like he's literally like eye poking himself the entire fight, like bouncing around, throw a kick, reset, touch his eye, bouncing around, right hand, touch his eye, throw the jab out there, reset, touch his eye. It's like his eye was literally fucking red. I don't think he got hit in the face once. He's just like eye poking himself. And then he gets on the ground and Barrow's got him in the Kimura and he taps. It's like, dude, he just needed to fucking touch his eye. His tick was getting to him. I don't know. Like, how does that even work? How do you not like try to figure that out? You have a tick that's that bad where you're literally touching your eye every 2 seconds. That's going to inhibit your fighting ability. What happens if you like rock a guy? Are you going to be like, you land a big shot, the guy drops, and then you're going to be like, hold on, I got to touch my eye real quick. And then go try to knock and like ground and pound him out? Like, what are we doing here? A UFC level guy with that bad of a tick? How does he not like try to work on that? Try to get that off? There's got to be some way to get rid of a tick. Maybe I'm being like fucked up about it, but like, come on. Weird. Favorite fight, Rose versus Carla. thanks, bro. Don't need to remind me about that. I need Luke Riley in the UFC ASAP. I saw he got a win. I didn't watch the fight, but I'm sure he will get signed eventually. Ilya versus Gaethje, Charles versus Islam, Dustin versus Max, Armin versus Hooker, lightweight matchmaking. Nah, give me Ilya versus Islam. Give me Charles versus Hooker, and give me Armin versus Gaethje, and keep Dustin versus Max. I like that a lot better. Ilya needs to fight Islam. It needs to happen. Gaethje's already fought Charles. So give Gaethje Armin Sarukian. It's higher up in the rankings. Gaethje's coming off a win. Cool. Hooker and Gaethje, maybe it's just not meant to happen. Charles Oliveira versus Dan Hooker would be a sick fight. Just make it. Do you believe the rumor that Ilya, Islam, DDP, Chimaev are fighting on the same card? I don't really believe it, just because those are both massive fights, and I don't think they would put them on the same card. I think it's a possibility that they both happen in June. If you think about it, like June, sometimes they have two cards and two pay-per-views in June, or maybe one in the early June, one like early July. But I do think they both happen around the same time. I think DDP Chimaev could be International Fight Week. I mean, both of them could be International Fight Week, but I do know that the DDP side was kind of planning on International Fight Week for Chimaev, so we'll see. Holland might be due. Facts. What's your method of research for bets? Rewatch fights are primarily based on memory. Definitely rewatch fights. You pick up a lot of stuff rewatching fights just based off of their matchup. Like the biggest thing for me, just in recent memory, Yasmin Lucindo versus Amanda Lemos. In my early picks video, I was like, Lucindo got some pretty good grappling. Should probably be able to take down Lemos. Lemos can't stuff a takedown, so Lucindo's going to win. But after tape study, I saw, based on watching the tape, Lucindo only getting her takedowns through body locks. She would get the body lock, look for the trip, and get the takedown that way. But if you watch tape on Lemos, she's only getting taken downs by singles and doubles from Verna Jandiroba, who's a good wrestler, good grappler, Zhang Wei Li, who's a good wrestler, good grappler. And whenever girls would clinch her up, like Mackenzie Dern would try to clinch her up and look for that body lock takedown, Lemos would just dig the underhooks, reverse her position. Very strong in the clinch. So that's ultimately what flipped my pick, and what made me bet on Lemos as an underdog was watching the tape, understanding what Lucindo's tendencies were for how she wants to get the fight to the ground, matching that up with how Lemos does defending takedowns in that way. She's very good at it. So that's why I took Lemos. And on the feet, I thought Lemos would be able to outstrike her. Solid footwork from the outside. It'd be tough for Lucindo to get a body lock on her. So, yeah, I'm out of breath from fucking explaining that, but it was a good chat. Let me give you many men for this week. Herbert, Charrier, and Kavanaugh. Easy money. That's not bad. That's not bad. Every time I bet on Kevin Holland, he's lost, literally. Well, he does have wins in the UFC, so I was thinking that too. Oh, maybe he's locked in since he's going to welterweight. Yeah. I tell Cowboy from the Long Shot Show, should have me sick, Vera sub, Ribeiro, Caracol. Yeah, dude. Cowboy's Long Shot was live after that Vera sub, because Ribeiro almost knocked him out too in round one. How weird was the commentary yesterday? 3 guys actually talking about the fights. Facts, dude. Facts. I mean, I was in heaven. I mean, Bisping was a little out there, but I like Bisping as well. Do you believe the fight between Edwards and Brady goes the distance? Probably. Ribeiro should have had the KO. Yeah, dude. I know. $5 was paying at $33.80. That's crazy. Give me an underdog lock for this week. I have no underdog bets locked in right now, but I can tell you the ones I'm eyeing up. I'm kind of eyeing up Puja Tomar, honestly. I'm eyeing up Andre Pulayev, eyeing up Mick Parkin, eyeing up Chris Duncan, eyeing up Kevin Holland. Those are some underdogs I'm eyeing up. We'll see if I get there. Finally, people have realized that we need to be wary of undefeated fighters coming from the Contender Series. Very low competition. That is very true. I am way behind on chats. I'm so sorry, but I got to read them all, bro. My OCD would kick in if I just skipped a bunch of chats. Would have came to Kurt points. Yeah, exactly. Dude, that would have made it even worse. If Ibero got that KO and then we go 3 rounds, you think Kurt wins to hit this massive parlay and he gets fucking robbed? Thoughts on Randy Brown versus Dolby? I don't know the odds, but I think Dolby, if Dolby's a dog, I think he's live. I think he's super live. Charlie, bring a new girl home and you will find out threesome, boy. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Blackshear breaking 20 seconds into the fight had me feeling sick. Yeah, I don't know what he was doing. I mean, he might have just not warmed up in the back. Might have just thought it was going to be too easy for him. I'm seriously contemplating betting the house on Leon as a dog next week. I will say, Leon's only 33. Like, it's not like he's going to be completely washed. He'll still beat most of the guys in the welterweight division. But Sean Brady might just be a bad matchup for him. We'll see. All right, I'm going to cut the IG stream. So if you're in the IG chat, come on over to YouTube. There's a link on my Instagram story. Jump in the YouTube chat and you'll get your chats read from YouTube. Again, if you're in the YouTube live, hit the like button for me, please. Please and thank you. We'll continue with the chats. Blackshear said he ate too much, a.k.a. I think he needed to take a shit round 1 and got into it after it passed. Oh, my God, dude. That would be brutal. Needing to take a shit and that dude's punching you in the gut. Roman versus Allen, Marvin versus Costa. Do we really want Marvin versus Paulo Costa again? What are the middleweight rankings right now? Roman versus Allen? What's Allen ranked? Well, Roman's going to be ranked number 8, bro. Roman versus Israel Adesanya. Roman versus Israel Adesanya. That would be hilarious, bro. If Roman could beat Israel Adesanya, then Israel Adesanya needs to retire. Like, at the end of the day, like, there's just no way he should lose to Roman Dolidze. And if they actually, I don't think they'll make the matchup, but that's just funny to think about. Like, Roman freaking Dolidze versus Israel Adesanya, Apex Fight Night. It'll never happen. But Roman Dolidze could probably fight like fucking Anthony Hernandez or some shit. Jared Cannonier. Give Marvin Vettori fucking Rainier DeRitter. Except Rainier DeRitter is fighting Bo Nickel in Iowa, which is coming up. What do we think about that, chat? Rainier DeRitter versus Bo Nickel. Is Bo Nickel going to take his first loss? The year of the undefeated fighter losing their O? Does Rainier DeRitter go in there and submit Bo Nickel? 3 rounds? We just saw Bo Nickel go into a fight with Paul Craig and not take the fight to the ground. Now, he might be a better striker than Rainier DeRitter, who looks like a Walmart DDP on the feet, not effective at all, but like klutzy and just not good. But he does have some solid wrestling, some solid grappling. And, you know, Bo's a good wrestler, obviously. I don't know that Rainier's going to take him to the ground. But if Bo Nickel takes Rainier down and Rainier sweeps him, ends up on top, or maybe he could throw a fucking armbar off his back. Who the hell knows? Rainier DeRitter might be live in that one, boys. He might be live to upset Bo Nickel. Very interesting fight. I kind of like that. Thoughts on Jan Blachowicz versus Olberg? I think Olberg smokes him, bro. I think Olberg has everything on his side, honestly. I think Olberg is I don't want to say it, but I think Olberg wins against Jan Blachowicz. Blachowicz is 42, coming off shoulder surgery, hasn't fought in nearly 2 years. I know, Polish power, but yeah, I think Olberg wins, bro. Still can't decide which fight is the safest to bet on the plus 1.5 round on the London card. I don't know. Maybe if you can't figure it out, then you shouldn't bet it. I don't know what the fuck are these dudes talking about. Did I tail Maddie's parlay? Yeah, I threw $100 on it, won 2,300. I'll take it. Wish I would have put more, honestly. By the way, just discovered the channel. Good work, buddy. I appreciate you. But I've been sitting on the thought for a while, and I'm currently doing loons, and everything is hitting me. I don't know what the fuck, dude. Dyer needs some help, facts. No shit, the eye tick was weird as fuck. Dyer, get that eye tick figured out, bro. I'm way behind. I'm so sorry. He has a tick like Ismagulov. Yeah. He arm dragged him off the eye scratch to the Kimura. High level stuff. He eye dragged him. He arm dragged him off the eye scratch to the. Was he actually trying to scratch his eye on the ground? I'm gonna have to watch that back. Imagine he was. He's on the ground trying to scratch his eye, and then he snatched the Kimura. I gotta watch that back. Islam turned down the Ilya fight. I'm sure he fucking did. Diego has a tick like that too, touches his throat over and over. He had a scar there. I think I read that he fell on some rebar as a kid. Yeah, I noticed that one too. But it's not as often. And it's not like he's fucking eye poking himself. Like, it's not as bad. Like, the eye one's pretty bad. Ilya had a chance for number one contender spot, but his ego getting the best of him. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Ilya had a chance for a number one contender spot, but his ego is getting the best of him. Bro, he just knocked out two of the greatest featherweights of all time. He's undefeated. He vacated his own belt to go up to 155 and fight the champion that nobody can beat. Does he need a number one contender fight? No. He could go up to 155 and fight Islam. That's what he's supposed to do. Are we serious right now? His ego's getting the best of him. If he's going to move up to 155 and vacate his 145 belt, is he really just going to be like, yeah, I'll take a number one contenders fight? Ugh. No. He's going up there to fight the champion. Islam versus Ilya is like one of the most high-level fights we could ever see. The fact that it's not booked yet tells me that one person probably don't want the fight. And if Ilya is the one moving up to 155, probably doesn't mean Ilya don't want the fight. So who does that leave? It's Islam. Islam don't want to fight Ilya Topuria because he could fucking knock him out. And he can't take him down and smother him because Ilya's grappling is good. He's got a wrestling base. Real high-level wrestler. Islam, accept the fight, bro. I suspect that the eye tick was a way for him to always keep his guard up. Yeah, I agree. It's weird. I was thinking that too. I was like, well, at least his hand's up, you know? His hand's by his face, but it's still weird. Shoes won just one fight. Tom versus Jones, Islam versus Ilya, or Chimaev versus DDP. At this point, I would rather take Ilya versus Islam. At this point. Because old Johnny boy over there is not exactly, you know, hyping up the fight. You change your mind on Sean versus Leon? No. I don't really have my mind set at all. I'm cooking up a parlay. So far, it's Chris Duncan, Alexa, Carlos. And I'm still trying to choose Leon or Sean. Good luck to you, bro. I was pleasantly surprised by how great the card was last night. Good. I was as well. Probably most people. Max versus Oliveira. Ilya versus Islam. Gaethje versus Hooker. Armin versus Winner. Gaethje versus Hooker. I mean, that one's not bad, but I'm pretty sure Max is fighting Poirier. What we thinking about Jan plus money? Don't take. Parking easy money. Leon bought a KO Brady? I don't know, bro. Just want to drop by and say, fuck the judge that scored 30-27 Hernandez. I wish him nothing but absolute shit luck for 10 years. Who was the exact judge? Eric Colon. Eric fucking Colon. Nothing but shit luck for 10 years, bud. Cashed Dolidze moneyline decision. I cashed Hibero moneyline plus 321. I cashed Cashaway moneyline. Hughes moneyline. I made so much money, best day ever. Good hits, my guy. Brady might be too heavy for Leon. Ground game level, not fair. I think Leon's ground game is getting a little bit better, but yeah, I think Brady's ground game is very good. And his pace is good. His cage push is good. I know it's not exciting, but he has a good cage push. And rinse and repeat takedowns, I think he could probably win. Can I have your favorite fighter in every weight class? Sure. Let's look at it. Heavyweight, Tom Aspinall. Light heavyweight, Alex Pereira. Middleweight, DDP. That's my fucking guy. Welterweight. This is where it gets interesting. Fuck. I'm trying to take like my betting bias out of the way. I know it's very hard for me to take my betting bias out of the way. I would say right now, I would honestly say Carlos Prates is my favorite welterweight right now, just based on his fight style. Lightweight, considering Ilya is now a lightweight, I would go with Ilya Topuria. Yes, he has passed Charles Oliveira on my favorites list. Unfortunate, but Topuria is that fucking dude, okay? He's that fucking dude. Featherweight, Volkanovski. Still love the guy, even though it's been a brutal time to love Volkanovski. I still love Volkanovski. Bantamweight, Mario Batista. No, I'm kidding. Bantamweight. I don't want to say fucking Sean O'Malley, but I do just love watching him strike. I guess I'll just say Sean O'Malley. And flyweight Pantoja, for sure. Pantoja's that fucking dude. But I do love Manel Kape as well. I want them to fight. That Vucenic fight should be closer to like minus 180, by the way. He has more ways to win, but he could ego fight his way into getting KO'd or caught in the pocket or while overextending in the stand-up. Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm saying Chris Duncan at plus 280 has some value, because Vucenic, I think he should be favored, but not by much. Not by much. I lost 2K last week, but won 5K with the cycle yesterday. Let's go. Only suggested it because the last time they fought, it was a catch weight. I don't know. What you talking about? I feel like there's a ton of value in KO props. Vallejos at minus 160. Roofy at plus odds. Has Vegas not caught up yet? Yes and no, because like, you know, it seems like there's every week there's KO props at like around even money or minus money, but they don't all cash. Like Nurgojad by KO was minus 110. He doesn't get the KO, so obviously it doesn't look like free money. Musasa by KO was like minus 130. Doesn't get the KO, so obviously it doesn't look like free money. But when you do cash a KO, especially when it's a round 1 KO and it's around even money or like minus 160 like Vallejos yesterday, then it seems like free money, but they don't always cash. So yeah, I wouldn't get too confident there, but Rainier fraud checks him. Let's go. Does Ilya beat Islam? I think he's got a good chance, bro. RDR is too sloppy on the feet. That's true. Got tickets to UFC Iowa. Iowa. Got a shout out to the Midwest, baby. Iowa's getting a card. Let's go. RDR by decision. Interesting. I want to hear your opinion on Ilya versus Islam. Dude, I think Ilya's boxing is just the most elite that the UFC has ever seen. Honestly, I think Ilya's boxing is deadly and as effective as it gets. Now, I will say this. Islam has that nice head kick, and considering he's a southpaw and Ilya is an orthodox, that body kick and that head kick is going to be there for Islam. But if there's anybody that has a good chance to beat Islam, it's Ilia Topuria. He's well-rounded, grappling base with elite boxing and one-shot knock you out type of power. So I think Ilya has the best chance to beat Islam, and I think Islam knows that as well. That's why he's not exactly jumping on the opportunity to fight Ilya. Thoughts on RDR Bo? I think Bo will be able to control RDR and will be smart control-wise. I don't know, brother. I could see Bo taking the Paul Craig approach, which is to not shoot takedowns and look to outstrike the guy. Walmart DDP. It looks similar to DDP, just like uncoordinated-esque, but it's not effective at all. At all. RDR won't give Bo space like Craig did. So you can't really use that fight as what this fight would look like. That is true. That is true. If it goes to the ground, RDR by triangle off his back, that would be sick. That would be sick. Just think about this, right? Paul Craig, triangle chokes Magomed Ankalaev way back in the day to beat the undefeated guy in Ankalaev. Paul Craig, nasty jiu-jitsu game. Years later, we get Bo Nickel, super prospect, takes on RDR. Kind of a proven guy, won championship, comes into the UFC, picks up a couple wins. Dangerous guy on the ground, not the best striking, not great striking at all. Bo Nickel having a lot of success throughout the fight. Round 3 comes, Bo Nickel shoots that takedown. RDR snatches up the triangle choke off his back. Tap, tap goes Bo Nickel. There goes the undefeated record. Years down the line, Bo Nickel becomes champ. And RDR is Paul Craig. Could happen. Could happen. Stack Fight Night card. Jeremy coming back. The hardest hitter at 145. Who the fuck? Do I have it on here?
Who the fuck is that guy?
There it is. Bo just won't engage again. He has no faith in his BJJ. Yeah, I kind of agree. I feel like RDR should win, but somehow Bo's going to win. Just watch some BS decision. It's true. I got you, bro. Jan's time off with his age is never a good recipe. Exactly, bro. Exactly. RDR is sloppy, but Bo last fight threw red flags. Yeah, I agree. Because if you think about it, Bo will probably approach it the same way he approached Paul. Probably. Ulberg hasn't been looking that good. And all of Izzy's camp been downhill. That is kind of true, but not entirely. Would you say Kurt versus Hernandez is a robbery, or was it just close? I mean, when you're supposed to be judging the fight off of damage and you don't, then I would kind of say it's a bit of a robbery, bro. Like round 1, who landed the more damage? Kurt Hollabaugh. Round 2, who landed the more damage? Kurt Hollabaugh. Round 3, obviously there wasn't much damage happening because Hernandez was just sniffing his crotch. But, I think Kurt clearly won rounds 1 and 2. What are your thoughts on 2 fights? One, Josh Emmett and Lerone Murphy, and Finney versus Valentine. How have I gotten like a bunch of questions about Torres Finney versus Valentine, Robert Valentine? Like, this is just, do people really care about Torres Finney that much? I guess so. Josh Emmett, Lerone Murphy. I think Lerone Murphy wins a decision. And Torres Finney versus Robert Valentin. I think Finney could win a decision as well. Just based off of cardio, forward pressure, takedowns. But Valentin, if he's going to win, he's going to finish him within round 1 or 2. I would say that because he's a dangerous dude, got power on the feet, decent submissions as well. Torres don't really got a neck, so kind of takes that one out. But Torres is just so small, so short, I should say. He's a brick. He's literally a fucking fire hydrant. But he's so short. Like when you have knees up the middle, when you have uppercuts, when you're that much bigger, like I think he could maybe get caught with a knee up the middle and get knocked out. And honestly, his striking is brutal. It's brutal. But he's going to have to get takedowns. He could maybe win a decision. It was not a robbery, but he deserved to win, and I bet on Kurt. Yeah, that's fair. Would have won 1K. I don't think Alex did enough on the ground, and Kurt landed way bigger shots. I don't know how not one judge gave Kurt round 1. Like I thought Kurt outstruck Alex in round 1. Like there was no takedowns except for the end of round 1 where Kurt had the guillotine and like almost had it. So Dustin's short grab is the most hindering tick. I don't think it is, dude. He doesn't do it that often. And he only does it like when they're out of range. I missed out on 700 from Kurt not getting... Dude, everybody's losing because of Kurt. This is brutal, bro. He vacated because he can't make weight. That is just not true, bro. It's just not true. Is Callum Loughran the mini DDP? Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. If you're betting on Loughran next week, you're dense. Safest over 1.5 is Puja versus Bannon, probably. Yeah. Just take the over 2.5 at that point, bro. Brock Lesnar at bantamweight, but with the speed of Brock too. Loughran was scared shitballs against Jake Hadley. Yeah, that was a rough fight. Imagine vacating a belt in one vision to get a crack at Dan Hooker or Arman Sarukian. Exactly, bro. Like, what are we doing here? I think Leon could keep it on the feet and win a decision. Definitely good. Taporia has goals. Did you read the sadness in John Jones' comments saying he was hoping Alex would win so they could share the cage? Yeah, that's just fucking lame. Lame. I think it was kind of like a mocking thing, though, too. John was probably like mocking him, being like, yo, if you would have won this fight, I would have gave you a fight against me, but you lost. Sucks. I think Islam will beat the crap out of him, bro. If Bryce took you down, Islam beats you 10 times out of 10. Fucking idiots, dude. Fucking idiots. Go ahead, bro. What's your UFC London lock? I don't like the word lock, but I would say Olberg, bro. Dustin versus Max 3 would be amazing, but the BMF belt kind of ruins the matchup. Yeah, I don't know why they would throw a BMF belt on there. What's up, Hey Job? The underdogs hit 1 by 1. Congrats, man. We've been hot on the underdogs, bro. We hit 3 last night. We hit, 2 the week before? A couple the week before? We're hitting the dogs pretty nicely. I think Islam can win 50-50. I can see Ilya cracking him as well. I think Ilya has a good ground game, but Bryce managed to get him to the ground. I don't see where Islam struggles getting him down. Just because a guy gets a takedown on you, it doesn't mean like... I mean, Taporia probably just didn't fear Bryce at all. Be like, okay, he's going to take me down, whatever. I'll fucking get back up and knock him out. What did he do to end the fight in round 2? He fucking slammed him on his back and choked him out with an arm triangle. Like, he beat Bryce at his own game. He submitted Bryce Mitchell. Everybody's like, oh, Bryce took Ilya Taporia down. Whoop-de-fucking-do. He fucking ragdolled him for the rest of the fight and choked him out on the ground. Like, just because you get taken down by some guy. I mean, let's just look at fucking what's his nuts? That's like me saying Islam got knocked out by Adriano Martins. Clearly, Ilia Topuria is going to knock him out. Like, it's just not the same, bro. Not the same at all. Oh, Islam got taken down by fucking Armin Sarukian. Oh, Ilya's going to go out there and ragdoll him too because they're both Georgian. Before anybody says that Armin's from fucking Armenia, he's also Georgian, bro. Protas is a gangster. True. Am I betting on Volk? I don't know, bro. I don't know. I can't bet with my heart. I can tell you that. I got to look at it more. What's up, hey, John? The Underdogs hit. Appreciate you, Rooster. Double chatting it. What do you think of Jasmine Jasvicius versus Jessica Andrade? Jasmine by wet blanket. You think Petr Yan can beat Umar? That fight makes sense right now. I think he could probably beat Umar, honestly. I think it would be a really close competitive fight. Protas is my favorite welterweight too. He's a fan favorite, bro. How do you watch a Carlos Protas fight and be like, nah, this guy ain't it? I'm not excited to watch this guy fight ever again. Nah, you're going to watch every single one of his fights. Bookies hate pricing Terrence McKinney fight. Promise that. Yeah, unless he's fighting a fucking bum. Who's your favorite dog next week? Haven't finished watching your early picks yet, but Blachowicz, I feel, is being underrated this week. Well, if you watch my early picks video, I would not say that. But my favorite dog next week, I think I already gave out who I'm eyeing up. Right now, I'd say my favorite dog, just based on the price, would be Chris Duncan. But I haven't bet on any dogs yet. So don't take that and run with it. I got to do more due diligence. But right now, Chris Duncan at the odds looks interesting to me. Was talking about Marvin and Costa doing a rematch because last time Costa missed weight. Yeah, whatever. And I guess maybe, Costa could pull off a dub. He needs a dub. Thoughts on Dos Santos versus Kavanaugh? It'll be competitive. I could say that. Don't sleep on Felipe in that fight. His UFC strength of schedule, no joke, even in losses. Line is too wide, in my opinion. All that being said, I still think Kavanaugh wins a greasy one. I agree, game change hub, but his only win in the UFC was a split decision to Alto Morano, where he probably should have lost. Got taken down 9 times. So, yeah. Glad you mentioned Islam's head kick. When I think of Ilya fight, I always think of Ilya struggling early in the fight and getting wobbled bad by Jai Herbert. That is true. I look better than my profile picture. Okay. Thoughts on new Armenian prospect? Is that a real fucking person? That cannot be a real person, bro. I'm going to have to look this up, bro. It's not a real person. It can't be. It's not a topology. It can't be a real person. Jazz versus Fatima Klein was even money. Look at that win. Yeah, it was easy. You really think Shauna Bannons is losing in UK? I mean, she could lose to anybody, bro. Shauna Bannon fucking sucks. I can tell you that. You got in Figgy Sandhagen? I think Sandhagen. Does Sugar spark Marab in the second fight? No. Thoughts on Ariel Helwani? Gets a lot of good interviews, I could tell you that. Definitely respect the hustle. Dude's putting on 4 shows a week? Lots of guests, so gotta respect the hustle, bro. Big on Jazz. She trains not far from me. Returning fighter in my pod. Solid human. That's good to hear. Sterling versus Zalal. How you see that fight going? It's not booked, is it? But if it was, I think Sterling would win, honestly. I feel like Alexa, Wood, Padilla, Parkin, and Fletcher are winning. All right. Well, we'll see. I believe that game change. Loughran is a mini Vettori, bro. Honestly. He kind of is. Kind of is, but not as good. We need IQ level on tape. Tail or the tape. Tail of the tape, bro. I agree. I take Leon by decision, bro. He has kicks. Okay. All right. Why would judges be biased towards Shauna? She's Irish. Yeah, I didn't know this because the USA level education, especially public education in the United States, doesn't really teach you about history in the UK. And I know Ireland's not in the UK, but they're around the same region. And I was looking at that matchup, and in my early predictions video, I was like, somebody in the comments, please tell me if there's beef between Ireland and the UK. And apparently there's a lot of beef between Ireland and the UK. So, yeah, I don't know if the Ireland or the Irish fighters are going to be welcomed in England. So, and apparently there's also a lot of Indians in England. So maybe Pooja's the fan favorite there. Yes, I did. I did tell. Yeah, that is true. Tomar is definitely the biased one as well. I hope it doesn't happen, bro. That'd be shitty. Bo showed he only has the overhand. That is true. How can I get your next parlay? Jump in the Home of Fight Picks premium membership. I actually just sent out a parlay today. It's the only bet I got locked in right now. There's a link down in the description below. Did you catch Bisping doing his best Joe Rogan impression, talking about the evolution of calf kicks? Funny you say that because I did. And I was like, whoa, we got fucking Bisping talking about calf kicks now too. Like, I get it. If the calf kick is being used in the fight like a lot, they got to talk about it. But Bisping just had to throw that in there. The evolution of the game of calf kicks, man. Hey, brother, Leon or Sean? I'm taking Leon via UD. I would think Sean. I do think Sean probably wins, but I got to watch more film, bro. I got to watch more. Bro, Dustin got literally taken down by Islam when grabbing his shorts. Okay. My locks on Saturday is Vucenic by sub, Edwards by decision, and Molly hit the over 1.5. Okay. That's true. I'm not counting Ilya out. I just think Islam always somehow manages to dominate on the ground. Fair. That is fair. Pooja gang. Never forget Pooja Tomar cashing for me as a plus 300 dog. Gotta love that. I got a 15 leg that needs 3 more to be capped off. Need Vucenic, Olberg, and Taco. You might be good, bro. You might be good. How do you think submissions should be scored in fights when it's damage-based scoring? How would you score a sub attempt? Oliveira versus Sarukian, perfect example. Yeah, I mean, that's tough. Like, obviously, it's not as effective as like nearly getting a knockout, because if you almost knock somebody out, then that's still going to play a factor like later in the fight. Because for one, your head might be a little bit scrambled. You're probably going to be wearing some damage a little bit. And that's not going to work out well. Like, even if it happens early in the round, let's just say you knock a guy down, nearly have him TKO'd in the first 2 minutes of the round, and then he recovers, the rest of the round plays out. Clearly, he's going to win the round because he nearly knocked the guy out. But if you nearly submit somebody early on in a round, but they get out of it, it doesn't really factor as much as like nearly getting a knockout, just because it's like, it's kind of hard because like submissions should be judged similarly to getting knocked out because the fight nearly ended. Like, you almost had the guy submitted. But it just doesn't. Like, if you just think about it from like a common sense perspective, it's not damage at the end of the day. You know, like it's not going to affect the guy for the rest of the round. It's not going to affect the guy for the rest of the fight. You know, like submission attempts should be scored. And I think a lot of times they're not, but they shouldn't be scored as much as like nearly getting knocked out. Just say that. Appreciate you, brother. Thanks for joining. Why do you think Kurt couldn't stop a takedown or couldn't get up from one either? Because he's never been able to stuff takedowns, bro. It just never has. Why don't I do rivals anymore? I mean, I do them. I still do them. Only if the opportunity presents itself. I'm kind of pissed because there was one that I was eyeing up. I didn't pull the trigger on, and it did hit. So next week, maybe. Pitbull or Yair? I think Yair, bro. Heard Islam's team turned out Ilya. Is that true? I would believe it, bro. English changed Ireland's primary language to English. Huh. Gotta love that. Hey, Jive, is Colby Covington half brother? No. Does Chandler use his dad's strength on Patty, or does Patty's title run continue? I think Patty wins, bro. I think Patty wins. Part of Ireland is in the UK. It's a Protestants versus Catholic thing. Protestants. Wow, I really just said Protestants. Protestants. Yeah, is it Northern Ireland in the UK? I'm taking Leon because Sean blocked me on Insta because I said Bilal TKO'd him in a UFC post. That's funny as fuck. UK Pro doesn't teach US history either. I wouldn't worry about it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why we would learn that in United States history. So, I mean, there is a world history class, but are we really touching on like fucking UK history? Nah. Congrats from now on, man. Let's make some money. Let's go, bro. Let's make some more money, bro. If Meatball don't get finished, she can win by robbery. Probably true. Probably true. When does Dana White Contender Series kick off? I would say August is usually when it starts. Leon Edwards, less strikes as a prop. I know you're going to rock with. Got to look at the number for sure, but definitely has the potential to make the card. If it's in the hundreds, I'd definitely take the under. I assume it's probably going to be around like 80, somewhere around there, and that's when it gets a little fishy. So we'll see. I want Volkanovski to win so bad, but it's giving flashbacks similar to Imavov versus Adesanya, a guy who Izzy would beat in his prime but loses to today. Makes me lean Lopez in a sense. Yeah, it's kind of what I'm thinking too, bro. Really don't think Islam would turn it down himself. Hard matchup for him, but he's a beast. I imagine it was Ali and others on his team. Yeah, they probably want Islam to fucking take his time. Or they probably just want fucking Topuria to fight somebody else. I don't know. Like, it's just what they fucking do, dude. I haven't checked. What are the odds on the Molly McCann fight? Molly's like a plus 160 underdog, I believe. Yeah. Fighting a UFC debuter. But I think the UFC debuter is solid, dude. I think she's a solid fighter. I asked before, but I forgot what you said. Why don't you use Prize Picks? Because Prize Picks fucking sucks, bro. Prize Picks blows. Unless they want to sponsor me. I used to promote Prize Picks, but honestly, it's just not worth it. It's just not a Prize Picks guy. Thoughts on Blackshear having only 13 significant strikes? Because there was a lot of grappling. And he didn't throw much. Shout out from Portugal. Shout out to Portugal, bro. I hope to make it out there one day. I think it's a decent place, right? Portugal's got to be decent. Plus 152. Yeah, solid. Out of all the fighting nerds, who's most likely to become champ? Most likely to become champ, I would say it's Kyle Bahalio, bro. I would say Kyle Bahalio just because I think his game is the most well-rounded. Solid striker on the feet, big for the weight class, absolutely gigantic head. I don't know that anybody's going to knock him out. Solid grappling, solid takedown defense. Like, I think he's probably the most complete fighter, and he showed it at a pretty high level so far. So I think Kyle Bahalio is probably the most likely of the fighting nerds to become champ. It's kind of not really the hottest take because he's the closest to becoming champ right now. But he's a good fighter, dude. Hey, job picks for Prez. Definitely never going to run for president, but I appreciate that. They have better fantasy score props than underdog for sure, but that's it. Yeah, I mean, I never play fantasy score anywhere. Spain better? I'm sure it is. Molly opened at like minus 400 and went to plus 170 in one day. Probably in like a few minutes, honestly. Kyle was that guy. He is fucking good. Been throwing 500 on Diego every week. Phew! That's an investment, bro. Rufy versus Islam would be crazy. I mean, if Rufy could fucking get some more wins, maybe fight a grappler first, but I think Islam would ragdoll him right now. I've been to Spain, Barcelona, and Madrid. I'd assume Portugal is nice too. That's what I would assume too, bro. Silva at 145 now that Taporia is gone. Yeah, that is fair. That is fair. I didn't even think about that because ultimately I just think Taporia at 145, nobody's going to beat him. But Jean Silva at 145, maybe. I think Prates gets the KO versus Jeff, feeling a decision there most likely. Or you think? Not I. Yeah, I mean, it could go to decision for sure. Because Jeff is a tough out. Very tough out. If anything, if Prates does get him out of there, it's probably like rounds 2 or 3. But it could easily go to decision. Prates round 3 or decision might be the play, bro. If we will ever get UFC Africa one day, it has to be in Morocco. Is you the same dude that said that last week? Mahdi? Love his Morocco, guys. I agree. I think Bahalio is the best well-rounded, but don't you think the division is too deep? Jean Silva and featherweight looks possible. That's probably who I'd think becomes champ first. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, Bahalio is already ranked in the top 5, and it's tough to get in the top 5. I guess he's number 6. But like, if you look at middleweight, I think Bahalio beats Whitaker. I think Bahalio beats Adesanya. I think Bahalio beats Strickland. Does he beat Chimaev? I think he could. Does he beat Imavov? I think that would be a close fight, but I think Bahalio could win it. And does he beat DDP? Possibly. Because I love me some DDP, and he's in his prime, but you stack up enough title defenses, your day is coming. Your day is coming. So by the time Bahalio gets his shot at the champ, then it might be his time, you know. I think Molly will retire if she loses, and only concern in the fight for her opponent is that short notice, but she's on way higher level fighter in general. I kind of agree. Rufy already beat Islam training partner on Contender. Yeah. Yeah, bro. I mean, come on. Training partner versus Islam. Come on, bro. Never going to be in Morocco. It's South Africa. Yeah. Psycho parlay going back to back. We'll see, bro. We'll see. Keep an eye on Icaro Brito and Buakaw from Fighting Nerds. Definitely future stars. I'll keep an eye. Never met Dana. I have walked past him, though. We were at dinner in Tampa when it was the night before UFC Tampa. And walk into the bathroom. Dana White sitting at the table. Looked like he was locked into his menu. So didn't want to say anything. He was at a big table with like a bunch of people. Would have liked to say, what's up, get a picture, but he's at dinner with his people. I didn't want to interrupt him, but walked right past him, but I've never met him. You ever been starstruck meeting a fighter? Honestly, no. Honestly, no. Just trying to think, like, what fighters have I met? I met a good amount of fighters, but never really been starstruck. Just because, number one, they're a lot smaller in person. So it's a little bit eye opening. Like, I remember meeting Aljamain Sterling and Marab when I was at UFC San Antonio. And I was like, holy, these guys are small. But at the same time, like they're all like great people. I think fighters are some of like the nicest people. So like it wasn't really like meeting this person and they've got like a big posse around them and it's kind of intimidating. They're just regular guys at the end of the day. So I've never really been starstruck meeting a fighter. But it was like kind of a eye-opening experience because yeah, I think of Aljamain Sterling at like 135 pounds. The guy looks fucking yoked. And then you meet him in person and he's like, I'm like 4 inches taller than him, weigh probably 30 pounds more than him, you know? It's a little bit weird, but obviously, you know, he would fuck me up. So just a weird thing. Not considering Blachowicz, honestly, no. Got Duncan Blachowicz, Leon, Nathaniel, and Mick. There's plenty of barking dogs coming up. All right, bro. Good luck. I don't know about the Neil versus Prates going to a decision. I bet on Li Jingliang versus Prates to go to a decision with Li Jingliang never being KO'd. Wanted to cancel the bet within the first minute. Yeah, I mean, that was also the Leech coming off like neck surgery or some shit. So got to factor that in. Kyle versus Fluffy is 50-50. Ooh, that would be interesting. See so much value on Nathaniel Wood as well. Don't think he's the dog. I think Charya is overrated. Maybe. If beating a training partner means anything in MMA math, then bet the house on Jan. Yeah, I guess. I'd be starstruck to see Tony Ferguson, I think. Yeah, that'd be interesting. Think you could beat Carlos Vera? Nah. After last night, I couldn't beat Carlos Vera, bro. Carlos Vera showed some nice striking, honestly. And he would choke my ass out in a minute. Or just fucking roll for a leg and rip my knee apart. Late to the stream, but can't believe Hollabaugh got scored the way it did. Still stinging today, but as always, appreciate the picks on the HOF subscription. Yeah, that one sucked, but that was the only bet we missed outside of like some long shot props. So if that's how the night goes, like, you know, it's a good night. Obviously, Hollabaugh winning would have been an insane night, but we still had an amazing night. So yeah. Shout out to you for signing up to the HOF subscription. Shout out to all the members. Cash in the bets big the last couple of weeks. Hopefully we can continue. I used your 3-piece KO sub and money line. Then lost my money on gambling. I've had big money on Ribeiro this weekend. He looked good. Yeah, he did look good. Did Ryan Hall retire? Maybe. We fade Nathaniel Wood around these parts. Yeah, I mean, he's always live for a letdown spot, dude. What's more satisfying, bet to cash, sub or KO? Personally, I love a good choke. Sub bets 100%. There is nothing like hitting a submission prop, dude. It is honestly the best because it's like a slow. Sometimes it's not slow, but it's like a slow progression of like, okay, he's got him down. Okay, he's on the back. Okay, he's got the arm locked in. He's got the grip. Here comes the tap. Bang, there it is. It's like it's a slow little satisfying win. I love a good submission prop, dude. Ryan Hall is no longer fighting MMA for UFC. I guess that could be true. Did DR piss anyone else off for how many times he touched his eye? Happy? Yeah, we talked about this, bro, but weird ass tick. Super weird ass tick. I don't know what he's doing. And I'm not sure. I mean, he missed weight by like 5 pounds. Like, do they really keep him around? Wow. All right, boys. I'm going to jump out of here. Again, watch the early picks video on my YouTube channel for UFC London. I'll be giving you the official picks on Wednesday. Stay tuned to the channel for that. Best Bet show on Thursday. And then we got the Long Shots Only live show coming off a massive weekend where Matty Betts hit the cycle parlay. We had a few guys call in, and their long shots were so close, like one leg away. There was one guy that was 2 minutes away from turning $100 into $15K if Andre Lima goes to a decision. Instead, he submitted him in round 3 with 2 minutes left. He would have won $15K. So stay tuned for that on Friday. We'll be going live here on the Hey Jive Picks YouTube channel. I appreciate y'all for joining. Sunday Service episode number 43 in the books. Have a good rest of your Sunday night. Have a good week. UFC London this week. Let's